Welcome to the video, guys. So if you're like me, sometimes you have a bunch of stuff just lying around, and I was going through my drawers and I found this old webcam that I was using during Corona for home office, and I thought that could be the perfect device to use on my robotics projects. As you know, we're building this RC car using Python and a Raspberry Pi. So far we can control it using an Xbox controller, but I thought we can actually have this first-person view of the car if we just put a webcam to it. And we're gonna be using this as maybe a home security camera. One camera that can actually move around our house and inspect our rooms, maybe see if we left the stove on or if we left some doors open, for example. So why don't we continue this project by adding this webcam to it, and let's start building. So I did have to do some mechanical adjustments to the car after the last video. It was mainly these acrylic boards that were very thin and they broke just after driving the car for, I don't know, 3 hours or something. And I just decided to 3D print something from scratch, make the design on Fusion 360, and then I can make it a bit thicker to make it more resistant. Initially, my design was gonna take 5 hours, and a good tip for you if you wanna increase the speed of your prints, you can just cut material wherever you don't need it. So in this case, we don't need that much strength because we're just supporting some electronic boards, and I could reduce the printing time by 3 hours just by doing those cuts. And in this new design, you can actually have space for this webcam that we're gonna mount that we didn't have before. So it's crazy to me how much cheaper and better the 3D printers have become. My first one, I think, was 2019, and I remember it was very loud and just very hobby-like. I remember all the components were something that I could maybe do at home or something, but now I just got this new 3D printer. It was much cheaper and also so much better. It's much more silent, and then it's much faster as well. And also the 3D print quality is much better. So it's crazy how these things are changing. So that's how the RC car looks right now. You can see here that I put all of the new 3D printed components on it, and also I'm using this normal USB webcam, and I attached it with cable ties for now at least. The goal for this video is to have this first-person view of the car that we can look at remotely. And for that, I was just doing some research, some libraries that I can use on the Raspberry Pi for that. At first, I found this motion library. It was very good at first. I saw that I can get something working very quickly. I just opened up my browser and I could see these images coming from the camera that are coming very fast. So it simulated a video running on my browser, but I thought that the delay was very, very large. So I would move my hands in front of the camera, and only after 2-3 seconds I would see the results on my browser. So for some finer control, I did some more research and I found this library called GST. That's actually a C library that has some bindings for Python. And then I just decided to use that because then we can have more control over this video stream and can hopefully make things faster. And so RTSP, that's a protocol to send videos over the internet, and it allows you to pause, to play the video, to forward the video, for example. So mainly for media streaming over the internet. Just as a recap of what we have done so far, we have a Raspberry Pi that's controlling the RC car, and it's running this WebSocket server so that the client, which is our laptop, can connect to it and then send information coming from the Xbox controller, which is talking to the laptop via Bluetooth. We're now just gonna add a new layer to all of this, which is gonna be the webcam. We're gonna put the webcam on the Raspberry Pi, one of the USB ports, and then we're simply gonna have this RTSP server running. And whichever client that wants to connect over the network, for example our laptop, can just use some media player like VLC to get live video data from the Raspberry Pi. That's the good thing about developing software for an embedded Linux project like this. We can just keep adding more and more layers of software, and it's very easy to run different things in parallel. So on our Raspberry Pi, we already have working the controller for the motors, and also, this WebSocket connection to my laptop. Now we just need to add a new layer running this webcam server, and we can actually see the live stream from our laptop again, completely independent from what's already there. So that makes things very, very easy. I ran this webcam script and I connected my laptop to this RTSP live stream using the VLC player. I ran a few tests at home, and I just tried to drive the RC car around my house using the Xbox controller. I did notice there was a 1-second delay, but as long as I drove really, really slowly, it didn't really have as much of an impact. Even after using this RTSP protocol, there was of course still some delay of about 1 second, and it actually made it very difficult to control the car because every command that you give it, only 1 second later you see the response from the video. So I think it's going to be very difficult to completely eliminate the delay from the car, but what I could do was to reduce the maximum speed of the car. So because we're trying to use this as a home security camera, if we move it very slowly, then this 1 second delay of the video won't really matter, and we can still use the car for what we want it to do. So if you want to just check if we left the stove on or if we left the door open, we don't have to move as fast with the car, and so this 1 second delay with the RTSP stream will be just fine. Alright, so the next step was for me to naturally come outside and test the car. So I brought my laptop here with me. I'm at a park, and let's see if we can control the RC car remotely from this park. So it was finally time to test the car. I ran all the scripts and started driving the car. At first it was kind of difficult because of this 1 second delay, but after a few minutes trying, I got the hang of it. You always gotta predict the future kind of 1 second ahead, and then controlling everything was easier. One detail here is that at home I was doing all of my tests within my local network. Now that I'm outside of my house, I needed to find a solution to make all the devices talk to each other. For that, there are many different ways you can do it, but I decided to use my VPN service, which I'm already a member of, and there it has a service that simulates a LAN for you. But that's pretty much what I have for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because every week I try to release new videos with new robotics projects and adding more features to this RC car. So I see you then, and thanks very much.